We should be live with the 39th episode of the PiP Podcast. As always, I am Jacob, and I am here with my good friend Khaled.
How's it going?
And other than just topics today, I would like to say that Candlekeep Mysteries has now been released. So if you've been waiting for it to come out, it is out, in case you forgot. So that is good.
Yes. I'm excited to see what it has.
The reviews on Amazon say there's only 2 of them, but from that it says it's pretty good. Just those 2 ratings. It would be cool to get, and then because isn't it just a bunch of like small quests? Pretty much.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to get it and then just make a chart almost with them, and then roll a die to see which one comes out of it.
Yeah. Because I think you can play them all connected though, as well. Maybe you could just break them up.
A real Scooby-Doo show.
Okay.
Well, the few gaming topics I do have, I have 4. Would you like me to start off with those?
Absolutely.
Alrighty. So, there's a Bannerlord mod that turns Mount & Blade 2 into an 800-player MMO.
Wow.
Do you know what Mount & Blade is?
I remember hearing it, but I don't know it completely now.
I don't know much about it. I just know Trey is obsessed with it. Yeah, he really likes that game. It's medieval in aspect. It deals with like sieging different places. You battle other people. It's like, okay, you as a person go from town to town and you can ask for recruits and you build your army up, and then you can go raid other people in the single player. In the multiplayer, it's like a big like team deathmatch between, like, there's the siege people and then there's the people who are protecting. It's really fun if you know how to play it. If you don't know how to play it, there's a hard learning curve. So like, if you don't know how to play it, it's best you start off with single player, or else you'll just keep dying in multiplayer. Unless you're just with your friends. But apparently this mod makes it to where 800 people can play in the same world.
That's great.
That is pretty cool. It also looks very hectic from like the little clips it's playing in this thread. Like there's like 40 people farming, which is crazy. And there's like, I don't know, there's like 50 people all in this one building trying to get a horse. It looks fun, but in like the chaotic way. Like you probably won't get much done because there's so many people, but it'll be fun trying. Valheim. So people that play Valheim crafted a Eiffel Tower out of 40,000 blocks. Which, this isn't really like news. This is just like events that have happened. Everyone's been freaking out over Valheim recently with like the space race in Valheim. But now I guess the people are getting more creative and making different buildings. Because this Eiffel Tower is huge. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen Valheim, but if you look at the sky, there's like the world tree almost. wrapping its like roots everywhere.
Mhm.
This tower almost looks like it's touching it. That's how high up it goes.
Wow.
Now here is like actual stuff that is gaming, I suppose. This is one article I found. So I realized in the latest update of Apex Legends, everyone's been playing Pathfinder. Like there's opposed to when I was mad that they nerfed Pathfinder and no one was playing him. Now they changed his hitbox around. His grappling hook is fixed and they changed his hitbox, so that means they changed it for the better. I'm just not exactly sure how. Like there's certain parts on him, like he's no longer thin, but that also means that when you shoot and actually hit him, it doesn't do as much damage because his hitbox is bigger. But in the latest update, they accidentally nerfed. Which one is it? It says the gassiest hero. That's not Bangalore. They nerfed Bangalore by accident, I think. So Bangalore shoots out these smoke grenades. Or caustic. Oh, and caustic. And gas vents are rendered. So the smoke effects, you can see through them now. In a weird way. Like you can actually just see through the smoke, whereas it's supposed to blind you. You can see people that are in it. Like the silhouettes.
Yeah.
I guess that's making people mad because it used to just be like smoke. You didn't see any silhouette or anything. But I'm unsure as if they're just framing this as an accident or if it was intentional. Because it doesn't actually say. So we're gonna move on from that one. But now that I saw that article, I did notice that the past 2 days while we were playing. And to some happier news, GameStop Redditors are using their stock winnings to adopt baby gorillas.
Baby gorillas?
Yes.
They shall release and GameStops.
What? They'll release in GameStops? But yeah, so the ape chair, so Diane Fossey Gorilla Fund received $77,000 in donations in one day. And supposedly it came from the subreddit. Because I think she shouted them out in a video. But anyway, that's nice. They're using it for something that is, in a way, good, you know?
Yeah.
But that is the last of the somewhat gaming news. I haven't heard of any new games coming out or anything like that recently, so.
Well, Dungeons and Dragons dropped that Dark Alliance trailer.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yes, there's that one, which looked pretty cool. A lot of the mainstay of Drizzt and his group of adventurers. I saw him running around. So that would be pretty interesting, I think.
Yeah, Josh sent me that. And I said, oh yeah, Dark Alliance, that was my game. And then I go and I watch the video. I'm like, huh. It looks a little bit different, but I like it. And that when I saw it on Facebook, like the articles getting shared about it. In the comments, it's like, it's not my Dark Alliance. And then they post the Dark Alliance that I used to play all the time. Like Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. And I was like, ha. It's probably still going to be good. But I understand.
let's see. They also have it where because did you play Bravely Default? Or you
I have played bits and pieces of it, but I've watched more than I've played.
Because I know there's a demo for Bravely Default 2. That people say that's a really good game to just try to play the demo, at least a demo worth playing. And then there's a game called Project Triangle Strategy. Have you heard of that one?
I have never heard of that in my life.
It kind of falls into that same medieval JRPG feel, but it has more of a three-dimensional feel to it. And there's a trailer for that one.
Oh, is that made by the same? Okay, I have heard of that.
That's all.
Because it's made by the same people that made Octopath.
There you go. I was like, I know that one of those are going to be familiar to you.
Yeah, okay. I watched the Nintendo Direct with that in it. I just brushed off the title. But as soon as I Googled it, I saw the art style. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of hope that's a working title. You know what I mean? Project Triangle Strategy doesn't really scream pick up this game off the shelf kind of thing. You know what I mean?
It is. It's a working title.
As it should be. Okay.
On the Nintendo website, it says Project Triangle Strategy working title. Yeah, you were correct.
It's probably going to be like Three Fates or Try
Three
Happiness. Fates. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure there's Fire Emblem Three Fates.
Yeah, as long as they don't name it the main thing, right? Who knows? Trinity. Maybe it's going to be called Trinity Quest. Octopass. So the Octa's 8. So, well, Trinity. Something Trinity. Trinity Ford.
Okay, wait. This doesn't have anything to do with gaming, but it's so funny. I was watching a YouTube video of these streamers playing Uno the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Michael Reeves and like their group. Well, one of them has Uno. The person going before them does like the +2 card and gives her 2 cards. And you hear Michael go, it's not called Trinity, fucker. Just the way he said it. I was like, really? Where did that come from?
Grand Theft Auto is back in the news once again.
Of what is it this time?
So, Illinois' lawmakers are trying to curb carjacking by banning violent video games. So, Grand Theft Auto is going to be on that list, of course. Because that's how that works.
Right as they introduce a GTA Online load time fix. Because it takes like 10 minutes to load into a game.
Because, I can understand when it's a different country, like Australia and China banning things, Germany banning it, and like, oh, well, if you have it, it's contraband, whatever. But it's very hard for you, like, we're going to ban it in our state. Oh, yeah, no, really cool. I'm just going to buy it and have it shipped to me from Amazon or from anywhere. Even if they pass a law where it's just like, oh, well, no. Because I think there's some cities that will say you can't ship like firearms or certain things to it. So it's like, cool, I'll just cross the border and purchase it and then drive back. Or, hey, my family members are coming into town this day. So, hey, here's the money. Venmo, you just bring the game with you. Like, it's kind of hard when these aren't like, I understand if we're a part of the Hunger Games districts, but I mean, you can get the game. Banning the game is going to do absolutely nothing. Like, I don't want shelves. Oh, okay, cool. Then they'll just buy the games online or just Steam it. Like, oh, real? Okay, got a Steam account.
Better yet, this is what they do. They just change their location and they download it.
They don't even have to, though. That's the thing. Like, I don't see Steam putting this game is undownloadable in your area. So they're probably gonna go, cool, here you go. You paid whatever. $9.99, it's your game. Like,
yeah.
I always loved the it was, I can't think of the name of it. It's this kind of like little what was it called? I'm trying to think of the word I'm looking for. Not a lobby, not a council. But anyways, what they do is they'll bring up games of the year or of that year and then look in like how violent they are and so forth. So there's these people who have to play these games, and there's like all of these like lawmakers sitting around watching these games being played to their most violent degree. And you're like, who's doing this? Like, because the thing was like Wolfenstein or some game at the time where like you can like basically eviscerate the person, and they're like the person's going around killing Nazis in the restroom and so forth, and then it switches to a Grand Theft Auto and shooting people, and just like who's like, hey, you want to get paid just to do some violence? Okay, you know what I mean? Like, it's really weird. There's a guy just going, I'm getting paid to do this, just to be as most psychopathic as possible. And only thing it did though, like every time those come out, sales spike. So it's the dumbest thing ever. It's like, oh, let's show Hitman. Oh, that game looks beautiful. I'm buying it. Like,
It's pretty funny, actually.
oh, it's wonderful, man. But it's just funny. Like, they think that, oh, this is a detestable game. It's like, nah, people are gonna buy it now. You're only giving free advertisement. It's because it comes on what C-SPAN. So, so you just like flip through, like, what is this? Video games? Oh my god, that's violent.
It's like, there's that, right? Exactly what you just said. They can just go somewhere. But if for whatever reason they couldn't, and they still had to download it, it's like, look at China. They are the master of VPNs, and they can play any game they want. Even
Exactly.
though those games are banned. So that's exactly what's going to happen to these people. They're just going to use a VPN and download it. If for whatever reason Steam is like, nah, you can't play it.
Yeah, I mean, well, I won't put it in the realm of impossible. I don't think that Steam will like, oh man, let's start state region locking. Well, that's very interesting.
That was the what everyone would say in PUBG when it was out, like like when it was top of the charts kind of thing, because a lot of like hackers with like Chinese names would come in, and they would just like auto lock onto you. Like, you'd be walking yards away, and then they'd shoot you and kill you, and you'd see how they did it. Like, you would spectate them afterwards, and they don't even see you. It's just their character moves and fires into like the tree line off in the distance. And so the whole thing is in the lobby. People would just be like, region lock China, region lock China. It was the funniest stuff, bro.
We'll just start snitching back. It's like, hey, China, these people, they're playing your games.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, also upcoming in development, Dungeons and Dragons is doing an open world game, and they're looking to make it a AAA.
Is that the one that's being made by like the Counter-Strike people?
Let's see.
Because I saw a thingy that said the people that make Counter-Strike are trying to make a D&D game, and I was like,
Is it Hidden Path Entertainment?
Maybe. Hidden Path Entertainment. Yeah, that's them. Counter-Strike Go. But like, they say they want to make an open world game, but the only games that they've made are like Wits and Wagers, Defense Grid, Access Code, Age of Empires 2, Brass Tactics, Defense Grid 2, Defense Grid The Awakening, and then Counter-Strike Go.
Yeah.
None of those are near that so I hope it turns out well, but I am skeptical that it will.
I mean, they might be pulling a what I'm looking for, because I mean, like Sledgehammer, this wasn't Dead Space Sledgehammer's first outing. Jesus, there's a cat in my face. Hey, guy.
I don't know. Sledge.
Okay.
They also only have 40 people working for them, apparently.
It's going to need to improve if they're going to do a AAA.
That's just according to Google, because like when you type it in, it says founded in 2006. I think that's Washington, Bellevue, Washington. Maybe. Privately held company, number of employees 40. All the games they've made. I don't know. We will see when it comes out, but I am still skeptical until I see something that proves me otherwise. Under Sledgehammer Games, it doesn't even say that they made anything with Dead Space.
Let's see. What's his name? The founder of Sledgehammer is the one who created Dead Space.
Glenn Schofield. Yeah, one of them. Yeah, Glenn Schofield.
Now, I know it's a very unfair comparison since this is Call of Duty, but Sledgehammer Games are sitting on 200 plus employees. So, and they were making AAA games. So, I mean, I don't know about that. Let's see.
But that's not 40 employees.
I mean, it might be an intimate setting. Who knows?
I think with like a lot of time, well, no, that's animation. It might be. I was gonna say a lot of times they outsource things, but then I was like, no, I don't think they do. I was thinking of the animation industry, like different animation studios will outsource to different studios to help, but I don't know if gaming studios do that.
I mean, I guess few might. Just depends on what they're doing.
Trey's cat walked up to me today, Kitty. Like legit, we were just sitting there and they were showing me a video, and Kitty just jumps in my lap, and I was like, I am holding a landmine.
Yeah, but oh, jeez. That's really smart. That's funny.
I rubbed her. She let me rub her, and I was like, "I'm just gonna let you do what you need to do."
Yeah, that's funny. Cats are goofy little creatures.
Indeed.
It's very funny.
What?
Like off topic, but within the realm of cats. So I'm sitting in the car, like just going through my phone, about to get out of it. And I look up, and there's this white cat just going across the street, like la la la. I'm like, okay, well, get out of the street, cat, because there's a car coming. So the cat kind of goes out of the street, and then I go back to looking at my phone, and I look up again, and then there's a white cat crossing the street again. I'm like, oh man, is this the Matrix? This is like a white cat. I'm like, okay, just going exactly the same direction. I'm like, okay, that's weird. but I think they were old. I think they're old strays that were here a while back, but they used to get fed. Now they're just grown. But one of them running towards me had a small head and body, but a big old belly. So I'm like, is she gonna get kittens? There gonna be kittens running around? Well, gotta make my kitten traps, and so I can cuddle all of them. Let's see. So, thinking of video games, though, in some aspects, did you know Disney's coming out with a horror movie based off a video game?
Nope. That catches me off guard. I didn't think Disney would want that.
Yeah, so they're doing. Let's see, what is this movie? I'm trying to think of when it's coming out. Yeah, but it's called Stay Alive, and it's just gonna be a campy, fun video game movie slasher.
Staying alive. Staying alive.
And so it's gonna be like the main antagonist is her historic figure I actually despise, Elizabeth Bathory.
Elizabeth Bathory?
Yes, she's the Blood Countess. Have you ever heard of her? In actuality? So Elizabeth Bathory, she is a descendant. She is some way related to Tepish, as in Vlad Tepish, Dracula. But I think it's like a far descendant from each other. But so one day, as the story goes, she is doing whatever, and this little handmaid messes up. I think brushing her hair is usually the story. So she smacks the heck out of this girl, and the girl bleeds. And when the Countess wipes off her hand, she notices that her skin looks beautiful. So she spends the time just killing all these women and bathing in their blood. And she did it a bunch. I'm trying to think what the victim count was. Let's see if I can find the victim count. And so they finally caught her, and I think her weird deranged lover, and then just exiled her because she was nobility. They exiled her to a tower in which she died.
She was the stereotypical princess in a tower.
Yeah, basically. So there was her and 4 collaborators accused of just torturing and killing hundreds of girls. So between the 1590s to the 1610. Yeah. Supposedly, when cited, it was 650 women.
That's a lot.
Is a lot of women.
That's all different baths.
Yeah. They just bathed in their blood. So while I find her to be a really good antagonist and villain, the real person is not really my favorite person to exist. She's trash, but with that being said, it's very interesting to see what Disney does. Disney has a history of creepy movies, but they just kind of obviously leaned away from it, I guess.
They're gonna have to lean back into it with Mickey Mouse going into the free zone.
That's their true horror. M.I.C. Because I think there's a movie was it Watcher in the Woods or Watcher's Woods? It was a weird Disney movie that was really just creepy.
Yeah, Watcher in the Woods. That is a Disney movie, I think. From the 1980s. The Watcher in the Woods.
Oh yeah, man. There's a scene that I remember as a child. It's just shows it's like a girl in a white dress and her eyes are bound, and it's just the creepiest thing. But I always saw it as trailers.
Mm.
Like, because we'd watch other movies. That might be a movie I need to watch, readdress it, because I've done a thing where there's movies that I haven't seen as a child because they just creep me out, and then I was like, let's go back and see how these movies hold up. And obviously not scary anymore, but
In that, there's a scene that I'm looking at, and it's a little girl holding a pet of some sort, looking at a window that's frosted over or something, and it just says Karen backwards.
Yeah, I think that.
Can't help but chuckle.
Mirror Karen. She wants to speak to her reverse manager.
Show me your manager. I am the manager.
That hits close to home.
I know it does.
I think wait, let's see. I guess the Mirror Karen wants to speak to the Reaganom.
What?
That's manager backwards.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
Reaganom. Let me speak to your Reaganom.
Pokemon Red and Blue get a 3D recreation from a Doom Eternal developer. What? That's interesting.
Shoot. And so with like comic news, it's very funny with like so Wonder Woman, Thor's gonna show up in Wonder Woman.
Really?
Yes, but it's going to be the Norse mythology god, so they're getting away with having Thor in there. Because again, it's not technically Marvel's.
I see what they did there.
And they're probably going to by the pictures, they're going to try to make them more myth accurate versus comic book, obviously accurate. Like fiery red hair and a big beard. So that should be popping up. And then they started releasing some like shots and just behind the scenes talking about Miss Marvel and getting that ramped up for show. I'm very interested with that one though, because I don't know if they're going to actually introduce Inhumans.
Is that another comic book, Inhuman?
Yes. So, have you ever seen Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yes.
Do you remember when they were talking about the Power Stone and it shows this giant thing, humanoid, like slamming down the staff and destroying all these planet of people?
Yeah.
So that thing is called a Celestial. So they're these giant, like, space gods, if you want to. They're just giant entities that just go around doing whatever the heck they want to.
Yeah. Don't the Eternals use that some way?
Yes. So the Celestials started experimenting with humans. They started experimenting with the Kree. And they also start experimenting with the Skrull, if I'm correct. I think all three have dealt with the Eternals in some way. Or sorry, with the Celestials. But so they went to Earth and was like, what are these things? And they start experimenting on like early man. And so finding ways to alter them and so forth. But Inhumans were experimented on by the Kree, if I'm correct. The Kree was like, let's do that. We can do it too. And so the Kree tried to test human beings and whatever. They were doing this in a way to make humans as weapons for this great Skrull army or war kind of thing. So they kind of abandoned it, and the Inhumans live on their own. They're deviant cells from humanity for the most part. So unlike the X-Men, where it's just a mutation that causes it, they just thought that the Inhumans all lived in one area, but now they found out that humans are DNA is spread out through everywhere. So some Inhumans have the ability to have these their special powers, like at birth. But when they get put through Terrigenesis, where they release this mist, they become a different version of themselves. They mutate. So yeah, most of them live in this like Atalan place. It's just on their by themselves. They have their own king and their own kingdom, and they just do their own thing. But when a bomb was released and just released all this Terrigen mist, comes to find out there are all these humans all over the world that have dormant cells in them, or dormant like Inhuman genes, and so they go through Terrigenesis and become Inhumans, like active Inhumans. But yeah, so Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. touched on it a bunch, but Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. isn't really canon to the MCU. Like they say it is, but technically it's kind of not. It's almost like a spin-off that's just kind of related loosely to it. But
in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., isn't there like Ghost Rider? Isn't he in that?
Yeah. That was a phenomenal season. Like that was Robbie Reyes, Ghost Rider, and they did a phenomenal job of it. But yeah, so I don't know. Like they wasted Absorbing Man. Absorbing Man should have been in Thor, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, so they touched on it hard there. It's like this is all the stuff, and Inhumans were getting like legislation brought up against them, but none of this was brought up in the movies, making it not canon. Like none of it. And so it's very interesting to see what they're going to do. Is Kamala Khan going to go, hey, the same origin story, or are they going to like, because I don't know. It's really weird with Marvel because sometimes they lead in stuff that you're like, oh my god, they actually did it, and other stuff they don't do. It's like, why didn't you do it? So Kamala Khan can go either way, where there's like, no, we're going to lean into it. She's an Inhuman. Forget about that terrible miniseries. Don't worry about what happened in Agent S.H.I.E.L.D. These are Inhumans. Or I don't know. They might do that. And you think they won't, but then you watch WandaVision and they did stuff that you're surprised they would have in WandaVision, as WandaVision is a part of the actual MCU. So I hope they do Terrigenesis. Because it's really cool that there are X-Men and there are Inhumans, and they are at odds with each other to some degree. So we'll see.
I think it sounds like it'd be fun. Or
yeah,
watch.
Yeah, like I don't know. I think it'd be cool.
That sounds like more of a thing that will be up my alley in like Marvel than most things. Like that sounds more interesting to me than WandaVision and stuff like that.
Yeah, I understand. So I think with WandaVision, it helps now that it's all out. So binging it will make it wonderful versus like having to watch it week by week.
Yeah.
Like looking into it though, a lot of sources are saying that they are basically they are going to reportedly recast Inhumans, which would be very interesting, but also that she is technically going to be an Inhuman, so it will reboot them in the MCU because the show is terrible. Like that miniseries, the cast was great. I'll give them that. The cast was great. They had Lockjaw, the giant Inhuman bulldog. Like Lockjaw, the giant telepathic teleporting bulldog. But it was just kind of like, what are we doing? Going into hard nerds places there. Because there's a character. Have you ever heard of Black Bolt? And again, this is all Marvel stuff.
Black Bolt?
Yeah.
No.
So Black Bolt, long story short, he's the prince of the Inhumans. He accidentally kills his parents. His power is twofold. So he can fly, which makes him very unique because most of the humans can't fly. So he's beloved, but his power that makes him terrifying is that if he whispers, he can destroy cities. So when he screams, he can destroy like states, planets. He has a strong, like, it's very funny watching it because there's things where he'll actually say no, and you then watch everything just blowing up. So like that's his power, is that he has the power to speak. So he trained himself that he doesn't speak. He doesn't sneeze. He doesn't do anything. Like he's trained to not do it. So, but he's gone toe to toe with.
Just oh no,
because he's been sick before, so I don't know. Just someone uses silence, but yeah. But so he's gone toe to toe with Namor, who's a pretty strong character. He's gone toe to toe with Hulk and Thanos, so he can handle those blows. But in Thing from Fantastic Four. But in the show, there's cops who are like, hey, come here. And the cops are putting him in handcuffs, and the cop hits him on the stomach, and he lets out a oof, and it just wrecks cop cars. Like, not the Thunderbolt, or not the Black Bolt that I know. Like, he could take a baton to the stomach and not make a noise. And plus take a baton to the stomach because they're just regular little humans doing it. So, but at the same time, there's a character called Sentry. I think it's those points in comic books that are really amazing. So Sentry is almost like if Superman is mixed up with Captain America. It was a super soldier program, and he punches with the power of 1,000 suns. And get into details of like Sentry is that he has like this dark, weird situation going on. But he goes to talk to Black Bolt. Again, Black Bolt can't speak. Or he chooses not to speak, and so then Sentry goes, "Oh no, you can speak with, you can talk around me," and he just hunkers in, and Black Bolt's talking normally and just like blasting him with his voice, and Sentry's just like standing there. I'm like, that is a really, really cool scene in comic books. Just being a boss and letting this dude yell at you, basically.
I want to see the new Spider-Man.
Yes.
Oh, wait. When does the King Kong movie come out?
So that's going to be the 31st of this month.
Are we going to go see it?
Absolutely.
Can I come with? I was included in we.
That was the plan. You weren't included in the we. You said we, and then cannot. Who are you talking about? You call it, and then your weird Japanese friend that doesn't speak with long hair and white clothes. Oh God.
Yeah, I thought she was your assistant at D&D. She was always handing you things.
That would be wonderful and terrible at the same time. I don't know how I feel about it. Ooh, yeah, you got me conflicted. There, yes, it's a creepy Japanese onryo or just yore, but she's assisting me in D&D.
Keeping no.
That would be funny, man. Like she sits there quietly or stands there quietly and just pass me stuff when I need it, and I don't even pay attention to her. But the minute someone's like starting to say something or being like table or crosstalk or just disruptive, she just gives the creepy grudge, distorted look or ring, and then just goes back to being normal. And I just keep on writing and just talking. I don't think our boy Noah can handle that though.
I don't think he could handle it either.
I don't think too many, because I did subject Cody to watching the Japanese version of Pulse Cairo, and it's the thing where the guy he encounters the first ghost, and it is one of the best scenes in horror. Done well in the remake, but the Japanese version is not to be like, ooh, Japanese is better, but both are great because they did it. But my goodness gracious, like if you haven't seen it, we should watch it after the stream because it is such a phenomenal scene.
I will watch it with you after the stream.
Yeah, it's great, man. It's wonderful, wonderful seeing. And another reason why I get my speaker, the sound setting up, the sound setup, working, because I think sound works great, especially with horror. And I have something to prove when it comes to horror in D&D.
What do you need to prove? You make Noah cry all the time.
No, not even Noah, but it's just the effectiveness of sound and bless you, cat.
If you got a notification, I sent it.
Okay.
And I did hear him sneeze. It was adorable. He is having a sneezing fit.
I'm becoming more cat snot than man over here. My goodness, but yeah. Do you have any other news?
I do not have any other news. Okay. Sadly, I've been looking for some, but it is not new.
I think I've talked about it before that that there was so Spike Lee is making a he's producing a Lovecraft movie, or it might be a show.
Like Lovecraft Country.
I mean, well, yes and no. I feel like Lovecraft Country helped inspire him. Like, I can do it. Yeah, so it's gonna be a Lovecraft movie on Netflix.
That reminds me, I do want to watch that other haunted house thingy on Netflix. But go on, continue.
Of Bly Manor.
Yes.
There's some really cool things about that. There's some very cool. Granted, no one knows how ghosts operate or work, but there's some really cool concepts of parapsychology, of like the concept of what a ghost is thinking and how ghosts operate or dwell. So it's really cool. It's worth a watch. I'll say that still, The Haunting of Hill House is I enjoyed Haunting of Hill House more, but this one's not a bad one either. Yeah, so it's going to be called Gordon Hemingway and the Realm of Cthulhu. But it's very funny just to, like, Spike Lee being Spike Lee, the movies he makes and what he stands for, then H.P. Lovecraft being H.P. Lovecraft and what he stands for. It's a very interesting mix in that concept. It would be interesting to go back in time and tell H.P. Lovecraft this story, which cannot be changed, but his reaction to it.
Probably end up watching it. It'll probably be good, hopefully.
Oh yeah.
I doubt it'll be as good as Lovecraft Country, though. I really enjoyed that.
I mean, I feel like that's the thing where if it's a show done well, it can trump a movie any day.
Yeah.
Like a movie just makes it more bite-sized and with a bigger budget, but there are some shows that dwarf movies just because, again, I don't think that shows are always the answer for certain things. I know there's talk about a D&D movie and then somewhat a D&D show, but it's just like, well, maybe. It depends. Maybe Game of Thrones has put a sour taste in fantasy shows for me. But then The Witcher was phenomenal. I enjoy The Witcher, so. Let's see. Spike Lee's filmography, because he does have a few just like okay, but
so I'll wait 10 minutes. I will talk about that as the show. because it's interesting.
Hmm.
You already seen it, but my opinion on it is probably like not the same.
Ah, okay.
So is the reincarnated as like a slime? Is that good?
I haven't seen it. I think Robert was watching it, and then there's like 2 more people who are talking about liking it, but I've just never seen it.
Because Josh was talking about it, he was like, I like it, it's really good. And I was like, didn't interest me, so I haven't watched it yet. I might. I've been on that. I haven't found anything to watch the past 3 days, so I've been bored. Because Saturday, when Skate the Infinity came out, they hit me with that recap episode, that 0.5 episode, and I hated it.
I'm trying to think. There's only been, I want to say, 1 to 2 animes that have done a recap episode good. And I cannot think of which one it was. Yeah, because it was all brand new stuff happening. The character stuff was being developed. The character had their own day, which was fine. But there was still, because like, was it the like Inuyasha is when I realized those were a thing. Because it's like Inuyasha had it where I think Kagomi's like sitting in a room typing or writing about her stuff, and you're just like, really, this is what's going on. There's 2, and they're just done it where it's just like, it's kind of like stuff is happening, and then they'll go back to what happened for that purpose, or they're just talking about it. It's really well done, but I cannot think of it.
I will say, for some anime, right, I can understand the recap. Like One Piece, if it has to recap like all the way back, like 3 arcs, I can understand that. But for Skate the Infinity, it only has 9 episodes.
Exactly.
There's no need for any recap at all. But I will tell you what I am looking forward to. I'm looking forward to My Hero Academia. It's for 4th season? Something season. It's coming out in the next week or so. Now Cody finally gets to see a like smidgen of what I'm dealing with. Because the 4th season's in no way gonna catch up with the manga, I'm pretty sure. Because the manga's so far ahead, but he'll be able to see when Deku develops or starts developing his new quirks and such. Because I believe Deku develops his second quirk, which is Black Tendrils, the one that's kind of like Spider-Man.
Mm.
I believe he develops that in a like a class battle, and they hint, like in the trailer, it shows Shinzo, who was one of the main people in that battle, because he was being brought up in the hero course, and that battle was sort of to get him used to it, to the class. And so that lets the manga like readers know that, oh, it's about to happen. So hopefully that gets animated very well, because he has like a whole like panic attack when it happens, because he can't control it. It's like him trying to hold in an explosion almost. But
do they do the anime fisheye about to lose it shot?
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Give me an example. Who did it?
Oof. It's happened so much, and it's just like, trying to think of. Hold on. You can probably type it in as the trope. Anime fisheye mental breakdown. Hold on.
No. Oh. He got kicked from the call. It kicked you for some reason.
Same.
But no, it doesn't. It doesn't do that.
Okay. You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah. Because what happens is the way he awakens quirks isn't like he awakens them suddenly in the fact that he could just be walking down the street and it's like it's he specifically needed to capture something. He needed to grab something that was really far away and he couldn't, and that allowed the quirk to manifest because that's what that quirk is made to do. Just sort of like in the recent battle, Shigaraki, his quirk is now developed to where he can touch the ground and it could disintegrate cities.
Wait.
So like one of the previous users' his quirk is named Float, and so Deku forced like all of his friends and himself to float up in the air, kind of thing, because he needed to. The power comes in need, but the thing is, he didn't know how to control it at all. He just knew it came out. He's like, huh. So he starts to try and use it, and it sort of overtakes him almost. After I'll find the manga pages and I'll send them to you.
Okay.
Who is that? Yeah, I know what you're talking about now, because I think Pain does it from Naruto.
Yeah, Pain does it.
Merrick does it from Yu-Gi-Oh!
Aaron from, well, you know Aaron. From not Shadow, from Attack on Titan. I'm pretty sure Shinji from Evangelion has done it.
Light Yagami. Yes.
Light. He's more, well, Light did it because he was out of potato chips.
Yes. But it was worthy of it. I do that sometimes when I'm out of potato chips. I guarantee you, if there was any face that hag could have been making Sunday, it would have been that Fish Islands when we destroyed, like me and Cody destroyed her house.
Yeah.
My house.
Because you think about it, Damocles destroyed her necklace that helped her plane shift. And then now you destroyed her house. So it's just like, every time I come back, I lose something more valuable than the last time.
That was really funny, though. So you're telling me that if they killed her to begin with, they would have had an item that let them plane shift?
It was attuned to her. I have to look up her thing, but I'm pretty sure it's attuned to her. This is a hag item.
A hag item. So, like, I have some ideas of what that eyeball is. But again, no matter what idea that I have is, it doesn't mean Nazir has that idea. So there's a high chance he's gonna rip his eye out and put it in there.
Okay.
You're gonna be like, good, you're permanently blind in that eye.
You have to hang the Wechner. So.
What? I ain't got the hand of Wechner.
You don't have, the hand of Wechner.
No, I got the eye of Wechner.
You have a claw in a jar?
I do. Bro, that'd be funny. But I can't do that because I need 2 hands. That thing, I know that thing wouldn't help me fight.
Just a little coin crawl.
What was I gonna say? I said a dumb idea to the group the other day, and it was we take Kira's like hand thing,
Yeah.
like the ring that has all the hands, and we attach it to the golem. Or it was attached to something. I forget what it was. It was like we had something. It must have been the golem or something equivalent, and just have the golem like walk through.
Because I remember, because how the ring works is that it sticks to whatever surface that it's on.
Yeah.
So someone's like, what if we just get like a board and like make it look like a backpack and then attach the ring to it, so then she has all these like 12 limbs helping her climb up mountains or walls or whatever. That's some smartness.
It is smartness.
Don't mind that. I would say that, like, because you joke that you have a owner's manual when it comes to Rook,
Yeah.
but still, Kira's like heart, like undoubtedly Kira's ring has more stuff written on it. That's because I was like, well, I want to make sure, because it goes down to what like combat is. What if someone wants to give it a bunch of hand crossbows? Because like you got to think like adventurer. So the first thing they'll do, and after I talked about it, it's like, can we give it swords? Like, see,
Yeah. I mean, it's something that's something as simple as like it's literally hands, because like that leaves a lot of things open to interpretation almost. So you had to almost that would be funny though. I kind of want to put it on like a board. Put the board facing the ground with the rings, like the ring facing to the ground, and put like a chair on the back of the board and just have like this ring moving her. Like she's sitting on the chair on its back and that's her mount. Think about how terrifying that would be.
That would be pretty funny. I could see that as some like shoujo manga like art cover, because Kira's like a tan colored person, so that like long lanky art style they'll do.
Yeah.
So it's just that, and then it's just contrasted by these ghostly long hands just moving as she sits, just looking kind of aloof.
I wonder what its movement would be.
They are hands, but they do have the lift of, I think, about 500, possibly. Probably like 500 pounds, somewhere around that. So they can move that in coordination. So probably, I don't know, probably a speed of maybe we'll play around like about 40 to 60, somewhere in that ballpark. Cool.
She don't even need her horse anymore. She got that.
Well, it only lasts for an hour.
Oh.
So that'd be one hard diff.
Guess she needs her horse occasionally.
Again, it's the concepts of like, I do something and it's made for anybody, but who gets it becomes more. So like take for instance Nazir getting the Dullahan armor when he wasn't like it wasn't made for him, or wasn't like necessarily his to get, but then us playing off the concept of Cosmic Ghost Rider,
yeah,
and then just Malos. So but Kira, a woman who reads things and loves archaeology, she comes from a land, she has long black hair, she's tan, she'll have her nose in a book, and now she has a ring that creates hands. She's basically Nico Robin. from One Piece. Like, because Nico would do that where she's just sitting and she'll use her hands to read books and stuff for her as she's just nonchalantly just chilling out. Like, that's kind of funny.
I do enjoy the fact that I go, Trey, since you don't have proficiency in heavy armor, who do you want to give your armor to? And he's just like, let me think about it. Nazir. And I was like, Nazir's not in your game, bro.
That's good.
It was great.
I mean, it's kind of better that way, just because the idea that there will be a sooner end with your campaign before starting the new one. So giving it to anyone else on that side of the Tavernborn, then the armor would have just gone to the wayside.
Yeah. Yeah. They're using that chain to ride a dragon.
Oh, awesome.
It's like Bradley Tyrant had dragon eggs.
Mm-hmm.
And they hatched, and he's been keeping a secret. They were going to use a wish to teleport to Waterdeep, but instead he's like, yo, this is a big dragon. Listen to me. So he's a warlock, so he uses like his eldritch sight. He's like, I see you have this magic like chain. It kind of reminds me of something to do with dragons. What does it do? He's like, cool. If you can use that to keep the dragon from killing you guys while we ride it, then we can ride it to Waterdeep. So that's how that went. But it is 11:37.
Perfect. So, without further ado, we'll jump to our segment. What are you watching, playing, reading, listening to? So what you got for us?
Been playing a lot of Apex.
Mm-hmm.
I am enjoying it, but I'm going to be glad when I start Valheim with Josh, because I want to take a break from Apex. I don't think I've played any other game this week except D&D, obviously.
Yeah.
I kind of want to play Baldur's Gate. Might do that later tonight. Watching. Reading. A bunch of nerd stuff. Articles on like graphics cards, processors. I think it's the Tiger Lake processor from Intel coming out. Been reading about different kinds of woods.
Mm-hmm.
No particular reason about the woods, just general knowledge, because I like to woodwork.
Yes.
I enjoy it. So been watching redo of Healer.
Oh man.
And I would like to say it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. And I slightly enjoy it. Although I don't enjoy it as much as if Noah was watching it, because I think Noah would enjoy it a lot more. To me, if I had to put it in a tier, like, in my opinion, it is a high C, low B anime.
I can say that.
And that's only because it could practically be hentai.
No. I mean, it makes
but
sense.
its story is good enough to where I can see why you would watch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why it doesn't suffer for having a censored version.
Yeah.
For that reason, why they're like, well, you know, this will work for you too.
Besides that, I'm about to start watching the second season of World Trigger. I don't know if you know what that is.
Sounds super familiar.
So,
talking about.
I'll read the synopsis of the first season of World Trigger. That could jog your memory.
It could trigger a memory?
Yes. So, this is not a synopsis. The first season of World Trigger has 73 episodes.
Wow.
Plot summary. A gate to another dimension has burst open, and from it emerges gigantic, invincible creatures that threaten all of humanity. Earth's only defense is a mysterious group of warriors who has co-opted the alien technology in order to fight back. So, in World Trigger, at least the first season, I don't know about the second season. I don't know much about it at all. It could just be like a redoing of the first season. I don't know why. But anyway, these people will train and they will use alien technology to make like false bodies for themselves almost to combat the aliens. So once they get hurt enough, it like ejects them from the false body. I don't know, or I don't remember exactly how that works. I just know they have these little things. They're like hilts to swords almost. And they're the triggers. And if you activate them, it makes you a weapon out of alien energy or whatever. Well, in the first season at least, there was a guy who was pretty moderate at like the field stuff. Like he wasn't the best at doing stuff, but he knew a lot of stuff. And then there's actually a human kid that comes from the other dimension who was raised there, and he's like a badass, to say, for lack of a better term. Like he can do a lot of stuff and he knows stuff, but he doesn't have any sort of social interaction skills. And a lot of people think he's an enemy at first. It's basically about them combating the aliens in different ways.
Oh.
It's actually really entertaining, and there's more to the story than that, but I can't remember it for the life of me.
It's very interesting. So the creator of My Hero drew characters from World Trigger.
That makes sense. I can see that.
The two are friends on top of that.
Yeah. I can definitely see that. I think World Trigger, if you ever have the time to like sit down and watch it, I think it was a really good one. That's probably why it has 73 episodes in the first season. But no, other than that, been watching Gate of the Infinity, just all the normal stuff, Attack on Titan, Jujutsu Kaisen. Dungeon Only I Can Enter, Last Dungeon, that's pretty good. Mushoku Tensei, the anime that China doesn't know what they're talking about. That one's getting real good, honestly. I think Sunday could potentially be one of the best episodes it has.
Oh.
Because in the last episode, they basically the god can talk to the kid because he was reincarnated. He's like, hey, just so you know, if you take the mission that everyone was joking about, the quest to find the missing cat, all your worries will be solved. And so they take the mission, and the guy that's escorting them through the demon lands, the Superb that everyone's afraid of, can see where it's at because he has a third eye.
Mm-hmm.
It's like magical. So they find it, and it's these people that kidnap them, like the pets. And then once a quest comes up, that to find the pet, they return it to like get the reward. Act like they found it. Well, they go in there and they find all these pets, and the kid approaches them, and they all sort of fight moderately, and then the kid uses magic to like stick them to the wall. And while they're talking, the kid walks up, and the leader kicks the kid like across the room, like hitting him in the gut. And then the super just comes up and beheads the guy. And the two kids are like, "Why did you kill him?" He's like, "He was a villain. He must be killed." They're like, "There was no reason to do that. He didn't do anything bad." It was like, he kicked a kid. It's like, whoa.
Jeez.
So basically, they're using that party to do higher rank quests. So that party will get the higher rank quests, and they'll trade quests, and they'll blah blah blah. You understand? And now they don't have to worry about money. Reading, watching, listening to. Nothing other than just random Twitch streams.
Okay.
And now it is up to you.
So I'm watching. So Redo of Healer is one of them. Dungeon the Like and Enter, and then Last Dungeon, or supposed Last Dungeon, whichever you want to go. That one, I think I'm almost finished with that season. I don't know why I stopped. I think it's because I usually do like a weird season halt. If I'm like binging a bunch of anime, I do find myself not watching the last few episodes until just getting back into it. Don't know why I do it. I guess it just lasts longer. And then I've also been watching more, because I know we both of us will watch like Nuke's top 5. But I have now gone to a part where I start watching like rewatching some of his older videos.
Yeah.
So I found like the video where he just first started to do like scary, like ghost videos, ghost caught on video kind of thing. So a lot of this is like his mainstays like, "Did you see it?" and "Something chilling," and all those other things. He's not doing it just yet. But it's very funny because he's pulling from like the old cycled circulated videos of the internet. So you're like, fake? Come on, man. And I think that's when I first was introduced to him, and that's why I was like, I didn't like him, because it was like, he will say it's up to you to decide, but it's like, come on, it's obviously fake. So going now with how his are now, he's gotten into doing more like digital work and like editing videos, but in the way to actually try to show what the people see versus like being a passive bystander on it kind of thing. So more of the videos have gotten more legitimate looking versus his just like his, you know what I mean, like his neutral stance. So let's see, I finished WandaVision. I have been watching a lot more, getting back into the horror movie cycle. Trying to find a really good horror movies to watch. Trying to think, what else have I been watching? Nothing really. I think I'm trying my best to avoid Falcon and Winter Soldier. So I am trying to look into more movies and shows to pick up, because again, if it take my mind off of it, then I can actually binge it versus week to weeking it. Let's see. Playing right now D&D still. There are a few
D&D.
Yeah, I hate D&D. It's the worst. Yeah, there are a few like JRPGs I've seen, or I might get for just emulator. I might wait just to get my tablet fixed, or when I get a laptop or something. Because there's one I really enjoy, but man, it messes you up when it comes to like tapping the screen. So it's like, I'd rather just have a controller that's a little bit more responsive. Yeah, I was like, with playing D&D, finally getting to sit back at the table, the built table is phenomenal.
All that space.
Just so much DM space, man.
Oh, that's
there's a really cool it's a, I don't even know what to call it. It's not really a shelf. It's at Hobby Lobby. I think it'd be really cool for us to get it. Or I might just get it, I don't know. But it has like the barn door on it. I think that would be really beneficial versus like having a swing out door. But yeah, I love
barn
having
door.
it, like the sliding barn.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like on a
track.
wheel. Yeah. So that saves up a whole bunch of space having that as well.
Gotta make sure we put it above Trey's head.
Nothing's going above Trey's head.
Well, he's always joking about it. Might as well put something there.
Might as well give him a concussion. He wants it.
He's asking for it.
But yeah, I do love all the space and just all the, because I think with that one, we easily can just put our stuff there. And hopefully, if I can get the player, my receiver, to do its job, then that's just one more DM tool to have. Because while I do love the Bluetooth's ability to, I don't know, connecting whatever, and sometimes sound, I think there's times where I'm trying to play music, and if you're not constantly playing, the Bluetooth will go to sleep.
Yeah.
And that's like default for most Bluetooths. But I think it's good to have like a wired in speaker and be able to control the sound that way as well. We'll see.
I was gonna say, with that, the receiver, when you're looking at the DM side, right? Do you think it would be an okay idea to put it on top of one of those little shelves?
Yeah, it would probably fit there. Like,
beside the DM screen? That way we can have the cables run down through the table.
Yep.
And then we could have like the speakers on either side of the DM under the table, I guess.
I mean, and just to, because we can, again, with all the space, it's easy probably to put it even sideways, so it's in a way where it's not going to be in the way if you need to get up and walk.
Yeah.
But yeah, just running underneath the table, its cords and so forth. But that will be off-topic thing. Listening to, I picked up, started listening to Enter Shikari again. They have a really cool sound. So it's kind of interesting to call them, because they can't really call them punk or screamo, but they have electronica attached to it in this really high-paced, sometimes dancing, just flirting on the edge of being dubstep, but not really. Doesn't go into the drops and so forth and the wobbles. But they're in that kind of electronica thing, but yet they'll have like some minor screaming in it. Or at least I'll say vocal stresses, not really just screaming, more vocal stresses and so forth. It's a really cool sound. Listened to it a bunch, like 2015, and just kind of like forgot all about them, and then they just came back. I think what it's a part of it is that there is a song that I listened to greatly, and I cannot tell you the name or the band for no apparent reason. And so I've been going through a lot of other bands that I've heard around that time period, and just kind of like, okay, well, that's not them. Enter Shikari is one of them. Black Keys. There's a Capital City, I think is it called. So there's a few, but yeah, all good bands, but just not the owners of this one song. But yeah, I think that would really be it for the most part.
For the most part.
Yeah, nothing other things are really sticking out. Yeah, there's a list I had for listening to, or well, not for things to listen to later on. I'm just like going through, getting those up and started. Something that's not about creative, and I guess in the concepts of just doing stuff. Picking back up doing actual visual art. So there's a commission that I have to finish. And then I kind of want to get back in doing some art. I might even start posting like D&D themed artwork on our site. The closed group that we have.
Yeah.
And then for fantasy art as well. That closed group.
I do have a question.
Yes.
Rogue using a boomerang. Your thoughts?
Yes.
Just yes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, just like the concepts of like watching a boomerang, if it doesn't hit, then they do have a chance of coming back. Like boomerangs don't naturally just come back at any angle; they just have a higher chance of coming back of how they've thrown. But if they hit something, then a boomerang falls. But it's the same aspects of a thrown item, anyways, like daggers or a ranged item, dagger, arrow, spear. Well, the player will have to go and like collect the item.
Maybe he can get the boomerang enchanted with the callback thingy.
Oh, maybe. That'd be interesting.
What are those other things? Because I was like, okay, I was either looking at boomerangs or chakrams. Chakrams. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's a way to put that in D&D?
Yes.
Okay.
I think a chakram would be probably like either because it'd be a light finesse weapon, so it would probably be a thrown scimitar, basically.
Well, some people don't throw them.
That's what I'm saying. So it would be a thrown scimitar. So the concept is that you hold it, then it would have the attack of a scimitar.
Oh. And then if you throw it, what would it have?
The attack of a scimitar.
Okay.
So mean it's just a thrown scimitar. So it's doing the damage of a scimitar has been thrown, or doing the damage of a scimitar in its hands.
So isn't that just like a D6?
I think so. Finesse light D6 plus modifier, yeah.
I like that. That would be cool to have like scimitars that you throw and they could come back or just like levitate around you almost.
Mm-hmm. Definitely see a genie pack warlock doing that.
Yes. I like that. I like looking at weapons that aren't necessarily in D&D.
Yeah.
Because I feel like those would be like the ones that you add to our player characters would have for flair almost. Maybe they aren't the best, but they stand out.
Yeah, so like what's it called? Wuzai? Let's see. So in D&D, the East, right? So Wuzai, the concepts of like Chinese legends of old, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. So those rules are put in place for Dungeons and Dragons and weapons. So they give you a list of weapons and then give you a list of what weapons would be comparable to them.
Mm.
And so what you just do is it's basically one for one. You just take the stats of this, and then it becomes the stats for that. Yeah, and so they just kind of switch it right over, so you don't have to like wonder about it. Because a Chinese mace is a Chinese mace. I think it's called a sun. I forgot what it's called. But yeah, a lot of it's just like 1-in-1, so it just kind of helps you out with that.
Definitely something to look into.
Oh yeah.
Well, it is exactly 12.
All right.
Is there anything you would like to say before I end this out?
No, everyone just have a good night.
Alrighty. Well, that was the 39th episode of the PiP Podcast. If you would like to join us again live, we live stream every Tuesday from 10:30 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every other Friday, same time but with a guest. If you want to watch a previous episode, you can find that at youtube.com/OnlyCentral or YouTube and Facebook at the PiP Podcast. And we will see you next time.